From the great halls of their house, there are assembled three who hope to one day be the world's greatest driving heroes. Created from the cosmic legends of the universe comes our team captain, the Vision, Bill Fisher. Their soon-to-be Wonder Woman, Vicky Fisher. Our Captain Marvel and head flight trainee, Jennifer Scripchuk. And our Batman, the master of tools, gadgets, and all things mechanical, our mild-mannered soon-to-be billionaire, Alan Danvers. Their mission, to fight injustice, share what is right and wrong, to get you out of your house and come out racing with them and serve all mankind. They are the Garage Heroes in Training Team.
Welcome to the Garage Heroes in Training podcast. This is going to be a mess. We have race bar. We have, let's just get this out of the way. Who's hosting with me? Wow.
I'm Vicky.
Waving.
I'm Jen.
Okay. Who's hosting with me? And Vicky waves. Okay.
Well, no, I'm actually sitting here. I'm waving at Ruth's son.
Very good. All right. Strap in. We've got guests. We have the combination that is known in public as Jeff Kaplan, but in private is Ron Mexico. We have Anne Moran, who's known as Giggles, and she's doing it right now. We have Ruth Bates, who apparently has mastered it, shall we say. And let's see, who else do we have? We have Mr. Dick Freelane, otherwise known as Patrick McHugh. Let's see, who else do we have? We have Pat and Chris, who decided to be so quiet and popular that they didn't tell us what their real names were. Just go with it. All right. And then we have the man specimen known as Maddie, who is also known as Opa. Everybody taking notes on these names? We're only halfway done. We have Taylor Purcell, who is the Droner Boner nickname from our friends over at Def Stig Racing. And in case that wasn't enough, no, we have more. We have Esteban El Baños, who is making everybody jealous by standing in front of this lovely body of water with green grass behind him. And, I feel bad.
I don't think it's real.
It's
not real.
We have 12 inches of snow. That's all I know.
It's real to me.
And,
it's real to me.
And
great 12 inches.
The Jandy Man can. We have James Webb, who we decided to surprise and had no idea that we were doing this. And we decided to have a surprise going away podcast in celebration of his service to the country and going away for 6 months and helping out the U.S. and our military friends across the pond. We don't know what pond because nobody did any homework for this podcast. And I have 0 questions for this podcast, but I have race bar, so I don't need to talk anymore. Goodbye. Welcome, everybody.
You forgot Ron Mexico.
Since I started with him, I didn't forget him.
Okay.
Trust me.
Did we
you
get
don't
everybody
forget Ron
here?
Mexico.
We got everyone?
I think I did. Everybody
What's
is
your background, Ron?
all right.
You're welcome.
What's your background there?
Who's that?
It's not a video podcast, people. Ron Mexico is scary. All right, so Jandy Man, the Jandy
Hello.
Man can. Where are you going? Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to say?
No, not really.
Are you going east or west?
Going east.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so it will be earlier in the day when you wake up. Okay, very well. All right, enough of the formalities. Let's make fun of him now. Who wants to start?
So I'll start. Basically, the whole point of this thing was just a big surprise to get everyone together and do this awesome podcast. The whole point of it is just to kind of throw a big old attaboy at Andy, who's like the founding father of Race Bar. With many of us together, but without him, this whole team would have dissolved about 100 different times along the way. So we just want to say thanks and think about some like awesome memories and stuff that we've had so far. It's basically a Jim Andy eulogy, but he's not dead yet type. So I don't know. It's hard for me to like think of like one thing, but I think about kind of the hard stuff we've had. Like we've had just nothing but failures with cars, and you guys know how that works, Garage Heroes guys.
Not at all.
And we've had team failures. We've had people wash out on us, and bad stuff happen. But we just always pull together. And our first race was a huge disaster, and everyone's ready to like kill each other, but we didn't, and we kept it going. And you know, it's so much. The whole race bar thing is so much more than just a race car and a race team. And I don't have one particular story. I guess one of my favorites is actually the background that's on Jeff's view right now, which is a scandal story. But basically, we all got together for this big party, and Andy showed up in a speedboat and just jumped out of it, basically not wearing so many clothes, and splatted into the water right next to our boat, and then swam over to our boat and crawled on there and hung out for like 2 hours, and it was the best.
I was instantly regretting being naked.
But I don't know. Anybody else got? So I got a million. So if anybody else has anything else to say at the Andy "You're Not Dead Yet" eulogy, go ahead and let her loose.
I remember this one time. Oh, sorry. All right.
Hey, I got one for Andy. Before you go deployment, just picture the lake in my background. I know it's a podcast, so you couldn't see it, but everyone in the meeting can. I've only met Andy once through my friend Ron there, and he was similarly naked to the boat picture. One thing he said is, I want to go noodling. The problem is his idea of noodling and mine are different. So good luck, man, and be careful with all those sailors.
Yeah, we're going to have to define noodling for our friends at home, but we'll do that another time.
So I have a question. What is your one favorite story of Jandy?
Man, that's a tough call.
Raise your hand. Raise your hand.
One of mine.
Raise your hand. Raise your hand. So nobody talk all at once.
All right.
There we go. Dick Freelane.
So
Sir.
I've known Andy since freshman year of college, and we met because of old BMWs. We had old E28s, and we met in the parking lot because we had the exact same car. So like we pulled in, and I was like, "Oh, that's my car. Oh my God." And then we're like best BFFs forever. But I don't know if it was that night or some other night. I had snuck into the airport after hours and like jumped over a fence and crawled in and was like building model airplanes in there. And then he snuck in too, but then found me having already snuck in the airport. And the way we used to get in, we would take a metal trash can and we would throw it over the fence onto that magnetic strip that they put, so that the cars can get out. Which, by the way, you can get into any airport or any restricted area by just taking a metal trash can and chucking it over the fence. And if it lands just on the little ring in the pavement, the gate will open. You can get in. That's one of my favorites.
Homeland Security is very happy you shared that.
Yeah. They're like writing him up right now at the Navy.
Yeah, I think we have one of our podcast guests is on the road in the middle of Wyoming, so we might want to get him before his signal loses it. Maddie, you want to take your shot at the "This Is Your Life" for James Webb here?
Yeah, I was just trying to come up with something really embarrassing, but I guess that's most of Jim's life. The funny thing is, it's not embarrassing to him at all, which I guess is my favorite part about Jim. Jim's just like, yeah, I'll just be naked, I don't care. And everybody else around him is just like, this is really uncomfortable. Like, I don't know. This guy's got kids. I don't know why he's naked. Why is he assaulting other men? What's with the race car thing? It's all dudes. I don't know. I'll come up with a good one before I lose signal here. But Jim and I have known each other for a while. We were in the same squadron. I've kind of departed the Navy pattern here, but I'm sure I'll come up with something before I lose signal.
It's awesome. That was good.
All right. Working my way east, at least by backgrounds. Let's go with Taylor. Taylor, you've got the fake background that says you're out on the West Coast. So what do you think?
How did you meet him?
She can't even think of my name. There's too many names.
There's some. I'm not sure which one to call you.
How'd you meet him?
It's like Jandy, Andy,
Daddy-o.
Daddy-o.
I met Jim Andy on the day when Patrick had actually invited me out to VIR to check out Race Bar after I had dropped my car off at his shop to spend an exuberant amount of money to make it fast. And the way I was introduced to him was how he introduced me to Veronica. We all know who Veronica is. The very studious, what would we call her? Ron Mexico? Your lover? Your secret lover?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, she's a hot mannequin that's been put to bed wet. Yes.
Yeah.
She's a well-traveled team member. We'll go with that.
Oh yeah.
He's traveled. Oh yeah, he's a good voice.
I think my best memory of Jim Andy was him telling me about how he was going to take a minivan at Hyperfest and drive it around the track.
Yes.
Like a wild animal. And I told him, I said, wait, wasn't that driven out here? And his answer was, well, who cares? If we leave it on the track, we leave it on the track. But it's worth it to see everybody's reaction when you take a minivan on the track and you start laughing people in it.
There we go.
Wait,
All right.
Taylor, was that time you came to VIR the same time that we all ran again down the front straight of the North Course completely naked?
Oh, that's right. We all got naked and ran down the front straight of. Oh, that's. I forgot about that.
South
part.
Course, right?
South
Yeah.
Course. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we crawled through the window of the building, all butt naked.
So you can think about that every time you go down that straight there. I've done about 1.5 miles of that thing.
Yeah, that's right. Because when we were running it, I remember at the end of it, you said, "Oh, you should come run the 5K with us." That's right. The first of many times that I saw Jandy butt naked.
Wasn't that the same race that I forgot my cell phone in the RV and I went back to the North Paddock and realized that I was empty-handed and I drove the car drunk as hell all the way back through the racetrack up to the South Paddock where you guys were. Find the door locked of the RV and a bunch of guys giggling inside. Beating on the door, you finally opened it, and that's when I realized that someone had my cell phone, and I gave them the passcode earlier in the day, and they got on my Amazon account, and I had $500,000 of dildo in there in the shopping cart that I share with my mother.
Was that the same race that you found out that my dog would bite your dick if you put a dildo in front of you?
100%. People that didn't laugh at all.
Well, the good news is your credit card company is used to that kind of order from Amazon, so they didn't flag it at all. So that was fine.
Amex didn't question it one bit.
This is actually a pretty epic race. This is the one where we blew the head gasket twice on race bar, and
Nope, not ringing any bells. That's like every race ever.
yeah.
We blew it 3 times though.
So this is a fun one. We blew the head gasket in. And me and Andy, I think we're literally arguing over whether to say screw it and go drink beer or to like.
The block was cracked. There were cracks in the block.
This is the second head gasket. And he's like, the block's ruined and the pistons are expensive. And I was like, we're doing it. We're gonna race at any cost. And anyways, we did it, and we had pulled the head off. And,
Well, hold on. Also, at that same moment when we were arguing, and I was really down on the whole racing situation. Literally at the exact moment, one of the officials at Champ Car came up and he tapped me on the shoulder and he's like, "Hey, I need to talk to you." And I was like, "Dude, we're really busy right now." He's like, "No, now." He's like, "Step aside and talk to me." And I stepped back and he goes, "Hey, you know our policy on alcohol use when the track is hot, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, no alcohol when the track's hot." And he's like, "Yeah, so none of you are drinking, right?" I'm like, "No, none of us. Why would you think any of us are drinking?" He goes, "What about that guy?" And he points upward, kind of like in an upward direction. And I turn and look, and standing on top of a race bar, Ron Mexico is up there with no shirt on. He's got like a Hawaiian lei around his neck, or he's got beads all around his neck, and he's got a solo cup. And he's screaming at everybody as they go by. He's like, "Wow, race bar!"
Even better, he's got a keg. It's a whole keg up there, and he's like, cups and handing them out to people. And it was, and you were like, "Oh, I see how you could think that he might be drinking, but it's only sparkling water." And they were like, "Prove it, show us."
We had a keg of seltzer water.
Oh my gosh.
Go ahead with
So-
the head story.
Oh,
What
that
about-
was the best part
What
of it.
about Pat and Chris? We haven't heard from them.
Well,
I mean-
just real quick, we got a couple of good pieces of advice for you, Jandy. Okay, I know you're going to be on a ship, but you won't have the opportunity to ride a scooter as much as you may like. And just remember, no matter how drunk you get, that scooter will not go in reverse. You'll wreck the shit out of that. If you look behind and forward, scooters do not go in reverse. Take it, Pat. And just when you get a chance for shore leave or whatever, and you go into those little bars and pubs and all those lovely things, be sure to order something in a bottle, because you order a mixed drink and you never know what they're going to put in it for you. Might not end up back where you need to be.
We can tell you hang out with Wrong Mexico, so we understand. that.
I
Sweet
have
bit.
no idea.
Miss Bates, please save us. We need
Thank you.
we need some embarrassing Jandy stories that I cannot have to edit. So
Embarrassing story that you don't have to edit.
all right, I'll edit. Don't worry.
Anytime we're over at his house for race bar cookout and he leans over to light a fire with those orange shorts on, I pray to God my kids aren't watching.
That's his starter log, shall we say?
Story you don't have to edit. My favorite experience with Jandy was recently this year. I went on the track for my first time in VIR at VIR. It was my first time driving race bar. Anyways, I proceeded to take the car 4 wheels off the track, and I didn't know what Jim was thinking, but he did his highlights like he typically does after each event. And he says, sitting in a car while it spun, holding a cell phone the entire time while laughing inside, but not wanting to show my student how much fun I was having. And he just stays so well composed the entire time. I mean, he had fun. His passion for racing and sharing the experience with people. I just got to experience it at a different level being in the car with him than I had just being at one of the events. So that's my favorite to edit.
That's awesome.
I didn't believe there was a race bar story that I wouldn't have to edit, but you did really well.
So I do have one that actually, I can't believe that Ron Mexico actually topped Jim Andy at the track one time. Only once. One time. It was just the two of us. Somehow the two of us ended up at the track. And we were drinking heavily with some nice Moscow mules. Hold on. And
Like now.
we really got into the hydration of it all. And we decided that we were going to go have dinner with my friends that run the track, the corner workers and everybody. So we somehow got up to the South Paddock where they all live. And we basically, well, it's not about me, so it's not about autocrossing someone's car with Connie, the track owner there, watching me. It's about Andy. We had to draw straws of who would drive to dinner because we were all, you can edit that part.
I always do.
And so somehow I ended up not driving, but Andy, who drove race bar?
Santa Claus. Who's the guy with the big beard? He's a little bit larger. He's a little bit larger because he's like, okay, can I really drive it? Can I drive it? It's been a while since I've driven stick. I don't know if I can do it. I'm like, yeah, great, sure, no problem. He's like, I've had a few drinks. I'm like, that's fine, as long as you're driving and not me. And he tries to get in the seat and he kind of won't fit, but he wants to do it so bad that he's like aggressively forcing himself in, and he's like forcing it's okay, I got it. He's like squeezing his way in, and he got in and he just floored it, just put to the floor, popped the clutch, like burnout, like around the paddock, and I don't know who he is.
We take off out the front entrance of the track, and the restaurants are to the right. So I'm
You went
ahead
the
of
wrong
them.
way. Yeah.
We make a right turn, and they just do a major burnout in the middle of Danville, Virginia, drunk as hell. Just go straight. We have no idea where they are in the farmlands now. they're just gone. And we take off to the restaurant. And we have no idea
He drove
where they are.
for a few miles, and then he's like, "Where's the town?" I'm like,
But
it's the other way. I thought you meant to go this way.
We get back from dinner because that's more about Ron Mexico and meeting Tom Cruise. And we get back to the track, and Andy and I depart South Paddock to come down. I'm driving now. And this is the one time in my life that I actually trumped Jim Andy. And I don't think you were ready for me to start drunken driving all the way around the track, around the North Paddock. We pushed trash cans from one end of the paddock to the other with race bar. We drove this trash can the entire way, all the way up the paddock to these guys at the last garage that were laughing hysterically at us with our music pumping, lights on, everything. And then we had the bright idea, let's go get a second one. And the second time we got there, they weren't laughing so much, but they were kind of like, okay. The third one, they were like, all right, it's time for security. And then
It's always time for security.
It's probably the third.
And by the fourth one, I think I punted a trash can down the parking lot. And I have no idea what happened after that. But
Who's behind you? There's somebody in your apartment.
in my apartment? In my apartment? This guy?
That's you, Andy.
There's someone walking in your apartment.
There's no one walking in my apartment. I'm in Illinois. I'm not in-
So, Anne, how do you know Jandy?
I met him really for the first time at NC Car. Went up for a driving experience. And that was the first time I got to hang out with him, and really the first time I got to hang out with Race Bar.
And you did it again?
And I did it again. It was more.
We thought you were smarter than this, Anne.
Yeah, I have my moments.
Yeah.
So we have the magnificent Myron with us. Myron, do you have a story for us?
I actually do. Yeah, the first time I was really indoctrinated, I guess we were working on Race Bar before BIR 24-hour race at Ron Mexico's house. So we had Race Bar out. We were getting the tires on. We were getting the wheel spacers and everything. And Jandy was underneath the back rear corner with the drill.
I know this was.
All of a sudden,
That was my drill.
and runs to the sink in Ron Mexico's garage, and we're like, "What the hell? What? And it turns out he had drilled up into the battery. Fortunately, there were no eyeballs harmed in the making of the scene, but that was a humorous moment for those of us that did not have acid in our eyes.
You never lived until you've drilled through a battery before.
Yeah,
Well,
and
directly
we
above you.
had to go out to AutoZone and get a new battery for the race.
How
see
about
that.
something from the Charlotte Lucky Dog race?
Oh, that was our best race ever. That was
One
one
actually
of my favorite races.
with Race Bar, and I was given the last stint, and Race Bar crossed the finish line to much applause. So I'm eternally grateful for that.
We didn't cross the finish line but a few times that weekend. Only once or twice are we on fire though, so we call that a victory. All right,
There was a flag and a flag, and I was under it.
there you go. That's awesome. Well, you guys being flagged and being under it are kind of typical, but that's okay. So Myron joined us a little after the intro. So Myron Ware is here with us again, and we have somebody else who moved in and came on board and now has her space Earth background, Miss Laura, returning podcast guest. You're still on mute though, but it's your turn to either
Good
give
to
a story.
see you again. Well, she just got on. I don't know if she knows what's going on.
Well, if you'd let me talk, Bulldozer, I would tell her what's going on. So you have a choice. You can say a very nice story about James Webb, Jandy, Dandy, Doodle, whatever the hell he's got 50 freaking names. Or you can make fun of him with a story, or preferably both. We like both. Whatever you want.
Well, the first time I met Jim Andy was at the VIR event in, I guess it was South event.
It was
this
the
past.
the March race in 2019.
Was it? That was this year. No, it wasn't. No, wait. Really?
It was the one where we drove the go-kart all around everywhere and the security couldn't catch
No,
up.
that was this year, not 2019. And that was the one. So we did VIR North and then we did VIR South in like February. And then we did Lucky Dog in like June, right?
August.
Hold on, I have all the races right here.
Lucky Dog.
Because I've been working on a little project.
VIR North in December.
Um,
We did VIR
which year? Which year are you talking
VIR
about?
South, maybe it was March. No, this is this year. I've only known you guys for a year.
March of this year.
Yeah, I've only known
You raced
year.
Dingo.
It
Yeah.
just feels like 50 years have passed since.
It does. It feels like so much longer than a year. It's so funny. We've only
we have that effect. We have that effect on people.
Yeah. Just like bond instantly. But I guess that's just whatever I can remember has been so great. No, the first time I met Jim Andy was at that event. And I recall basically just how welcoming you were in the very beginning. The first time I met you, I mean, I had heard a lot about you, and you know, I don't have any like particularly crazy stories, unfortunately, because I don't live near you guys, and we've only partied a handful of times. But I can say, you know, you've just been like super fun to be around. I love your quirkiness and the orange shorts, and you know, oh, I will say this. Back when I was first finding out about Race Bar, it was Ron Mexico who told me to watch the Race Bar documentary video. And the part that still resonates with me out of anything in that entire video is the line that you have about why wouldn't you want to go fly to Denny's with your friends on a Sunday at like 8 a.m. or something like that. And it was like, and then it cut to a clip of you and a bunch of your buddies in a plane with no belts on, just like kind of like zero gravity flying around the plane while you were on your way to Denny's. And I just thought, oh my God, this is the most like hilarious group of people I've ever seen in my life. This is like the jackass of racing. It's amazing.
You are talking about the flight violated Navy pilot. So yeah.
I still think about that line, and I tell people to watch the documentary all the time. But anyway, yeah, no, embarrassing. Gosh, maybe the welding skills you had when we were at Lucky Dog trying to get
That was the longest welding of a beer tap ever.
Oh, the shortest, but just most consistent, right? It was like go go go, and we just like found anything in the garage that would just like stick to that little thing and like tacked it on there and went. But yeah,
yeah. We definitely welded the gear shifter on about 5 times.
Yeah.
And about four and a half of those we did it wrong.
You know, that's the fun thing about all this stuff and about what Andy's created in many ways is that we've kind of made it a bit about the journey rather than like the race and the end and the finish line. Because if we made our whole team about the finish line and about being fast and about winning, we wouldn't have made it past the first lap of the first race. So, you know, I don't know. He's always like, you know, reminded me that it's not about that stuff, and it's about screwing up the shifter 5 times and then having to drive around the track with a shifter that's this long.
Yeah.
And if you focus on that stuff as being fun, as if you stop for a second and say, this is actually more fun than going fast or winning, then it's a whole bunch more fun for everybody. And it makes it a lot easier for the new people too. I mean, it's kind of intimidating getting into this racing stuff if you have no idea what you're doing. I mean, you know what that's like, Ruth, and so do I. And I know what it's like getting in the race car and getting strapped in for the first time ever, and you've never gone around a track. And this whole team and Andy have made that a lot easier for a lot of people, and that's pretty cool. I'm proud of that, and I think everybody will be. So
that was my first time ever on a road course race was with you guys, and
cool.
Part of the reason I came was because of the attitude of fun over speed, and you know, one more story if I don't if I'm
that
not
was the only
funny.
reason you came.
Well, it was my first time, and it just made me feel really comfortable. And but the VIR.
Are we still on the cum joke?
What? No, wait.
Edit.
Maybe I did meet Jim Andy at VIR North. But there was I think you came a day late or something, because you were driving race bar around. You went off at NASCAR and went right into the tire wall. And when you came back in, like you got out of the car and you were like, I had the tires. And it was like, ah! And you like looked at the front bumper, which was like banged up, and you laughed. And then we watched the video later. And in the video, you could just see like 10 solo cups fly into the windshield when you hit the wall.
That's the best one.
So good. So good.
Right.
I am embarrassed. I am embarrassed about hitting the tire wall. I am embarrassed about that. Yes.
Jim, I'll also never forget your the first race, and I don't think you slept for 3 full days.
I'm embarrassed about that first race.
It was just so great watching you try to drive, run a whole team, do all like the 6 blown head gaskets on like half an hour of sleep and 40 beers.
With a smile on his face, I bet.
Yeah, I know. And then we all just delivered Jim home and was like, "Hey, Becca, here's your husband back. Good luck this week."
How about Andy showing up at a race and getting so excited to be there, partying, lights going, music blaring, never registering for the race that evening, never checking in.
And then I couldn't sleep, and I was pacing the paddock because I couldn't sleep, literally pacing the paddock until the Champ Car officials arrived at like 5 in the morning. And then I went straight to them, and I was like, I need to register.
Spending a wonderful night in bed with me, though. Remember that.
It's true. It's true.
I witnessed a night of you guys being in bed together.
I apologize.
Were you in between us, or was
No.
it? Oh, okay.
I was taking pictures.
Oh, you were farting in the camper. That's right.
That was not. I was so nervous about driving race bar for the first time on the track. I got Jim to let me drive it at nighttime. Like, just let me take it out when nobody's looking. Like, figure out what this thing's gonna do first. I was so nervous.
Yeah, nobody's looking, but it's one of the loudest cars on the whole track. So yeah,
It's kind of rich for a gear shifter right now. There's so much going on beside the track.
Hey, that's our only gear shifter that the weld held, and that adjustable wrench is still on there.
Where my wrench is.
Oh Lord, I'm not touching that one.
And
super disappointed about the non-alcoholic beer tap being gone.
Surprised any beer tap's gone from that car, but that's just me. And save us. Story time.
Story time. Well, I don't have any embarrassing party stories about.
Listen, if you just make it up, it's probably true.
It probably could be. But one of the things that I remember and has always impressed me was really just how welcoming he was when my first experience with race bar, and instantly made me feel like I'd been there forever. And then afterwards, and after the event, he put together kind of a compilation. And what impressed me the most is that they're always so kind and so thoughtful, and really speak a lot of the things that he says about everybody at the event and the experience. And it goes to show how much he truly cares about his friends and the people around him.
Oh,
good stuff right there.
You put us on a pedestal as a team. We're not always like we try. We're human. We make mistakes.
All right. So usually when we do something like this, whenever you have like somewhere you're trying to say thank you to a great person, or make sure that they know that you care about them, you always end with the sappiness. So we're getting that out of the way now. Thank you. You're nice. The end. All right. Let's make fun of him some more. There's got to be more stories. Ron Mexico, Jeff Kaplan, either one of you.
Yeah, I'm here. Do I need to bring more strange people into the video conference?
I believe when I think of embarrassing stories, I think of you.
They are mostly about yeah, they are mostly about me, but there was the time that we got thrown out of a racetrack for a complete year. Begged to get back into it so I could
Really? You guys got thrown out of a racetrack?
Yeah.
They went so fast that no one else was able to keep up with them.
We were going pretty slow when we got thrown out.
Yeah.
I gotta get my volume turned back up. Hold on.
It's really more about the time. It doesn't have anything to do with the speed or the volume of the music or the consumption of the alcohol. It really had to do with the time that we were on the track.
Like midnight.
Yeah, that tends to be a problem.
They left the gate wide open though. I bet you they never do that again.
So
okay, hold on. So I know you guys want to keep going. But I have a few words I need to say, and I'm gonna say them.
Andy, are you gonna tell the story?
No, I'm gonna interrupt you, and I'm gonna say yeah, you can come back to that, but I'm gonna say a few words before I forget.
Esteban wants me to tell the story, not
So first of all, I want to say that like everything that you guys have said about me is about yourselves. So like as I'm thinking about this is like I'm looking at like specific people, and I'm thinking like I think it's just a reflection upon you all. Like our team is I think it's the best part about our team is it really is kind of a leaderless organization. So like Ron Mexico is the president of Race Bar. He is our the head of Race Bar. He's the guy that we present to the public as a bigger head. And like a lot of this stuff wouldn't have happened without Matt Bullard. So Matt didn't really get to that story. But like our first race, I was losing my mind. I was like so high strung and like we're gonna crash the car. It's all gonna fail. We're gonna lose the race. And Matt was like, dude, just chill out. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. We're here to have fun. And that spirit, honestly, is what's really carried on and kept us. And like we carried that forward from that first race on. Pat, you're like, we can fix anything. We can make anything work. We can keep going. Every time the car breaks and we're like, can we get through this? Your spirit of like, this is an adventure. This is fun. Let's just create something with our minds to make this car get back on the track is absolutely amazing. And that's you. Like that aspect of our team that's all you. You brought that to the table. Like I think we all bring that piece, and so like our new slogan, it used to be wide open bottles, which is fine because it like kind of signifies the party that we are, but we changed it to smiles are our fuel because it really is the truth that like when somebody brings a smile or a positive energy to the team, it's really what keeps us going, and we try really hard to just mirror that and press it forward and push it out to the community. And so it's really our goal as a team is to bring that to every race. And so I've done nothing here. Like, you thank you for all the kind words, but this is everything, all the words you're saying, it's all of you. It's everybody here. Everything that you have said is something that is a trait that one of you has brought to the team. So thank you. I'm done.
I mean,
the dead guy speaking.
Yeah,
I mean, eulogy. That's pretty good, dude.
We appreciate it too, Jim. But like, other than like keeping the car at your house and doing all the work and having your kids poop in the car while we try to work on it, I mean, there's a little bit of that too.
That's awesome.
So I remember this one time we're at New Hampshire Motorsports Park. We're finally starting to get our team together where we can look outside of our own debacle and see other debacles that perhaps make us not feel so bad about ourselves. And I, being the resident go to sleep early, wake up early guy, am up and I'm like, all right, I think we got this race thing down. We're doing pretty well. And then all of a sudden, Motley Crue comes on like 7 o'clock in the morning. And I don't mean on, I mean on. Now I'm like, okay, all right, other people are up. I feel as part of one. And then for the next 48 hours, we have various languages, various ethnicities, various male, female singers, but all singing the same freaking Baby Shark song for 48 hours straight. And everybody in the team's like, hey, I can't turn this off. I don't even know how to program it, which we all know is a lie. But anyway, so this is the introduction I have to where I am cognizant that Race Bar is in the house, and all I know is it's probably the only time at a race where I had other people up helping me before the race starts. It was amazing. So I wanted to thank you for waking my team up, because they tend to go the other direction, and I'm out there working on my own in the car, in the garage, and usually messing things up. So we actually did okay that race. So indirectly, you helped the Garage Heroes in Training actually do okay. But we
That's
still
so
have,
perfect. So every time somebody else tells us to be quiet, we'll just bring up like, hey, that one guy,
That
Garage Heroes podcast. He was like, we're actually helping. You'll thank us. You'll thank us later. And I'm just now realizing that Jim just uses me because I'm bigger than everybody else to egg everybody else on and just be okay with. Because every time this happens, we'll show up at like midnight because we somehow for some reason go to work, and then someone will be like, hey, I'm trying to go to sleep, and Jim will be like, hey, Opa, I think we could turn the music up more. And I'm like, yeah, shut up, you idiot. And Jim's like, yeah, thank God Opa's here to tell those people to shut up.
it's like
So
no
Jim,
matter.
I'm just now realizing that you use me, and I appreciate that.
Now, at that New Hampshire, there were a lot of people for Baby Shark. How many here were actually there for it?
I was there.
I wasn't there.
I mean, who was dancing on the cars with the Baby Shark?
Who wasn't dancing on the car
God.
with the Baby Shark?
You should have been.
That's our first time we met Giggles.
Yeah.
I
Was
just
it?
realized that.
Yeah, that's right.
She
Yeah.
still hangs out with us after all that.
I think my introduction to Race Bar and Jandy was the tent. Well, first of all, I think you guys were on
Don't talk
one
about the
parking lot.
shorts. Don't talk about the shorts.
No, it wasn't the shorts. I just remember. I think he was in it. I know that that Richard Freeling was in it, but they had this little tiny car at one of the racetracks.
Oh yes, that was.
And it was
Living.
like it was like a legit like little car, and two of them with their little shorts and their little shirts were in this car. I do remember the handlebar mustache, one of them, and I don't know if it was Andy. I think Andy was in it.
Wait, are we talking about the go-kart or those little teeny tiny cars that we
Little
were...
teeny tiny car.
Well, you guys had the little teeny tiny cars too. But what racetrack was? I think that was Jersey.
This was
Yeah,
Jersey.
it was Jersey.
That was Jersey.
Doug Schmidt was there.
Right. You got, first of all, it was the little cars, and then you guys in the little car, the tiny car, we're driving up, and I think you guys had I think you had a smoker on your side of the track area, but all of a sudden there was a tent that was put up our way that had like a DJ and everything, and this car pulls up, opens up the hood with track lights all on the inside. It had kegs on top. Somebody was dancing on top of the car.
And a bunch of magic markers.
And we autographed it. We stickered the car. The people were painting on the engine. It had a disco ball on the inside of it. It had smoke coming out of it. It was legitimately like a disco in a car. It just pulled up. It backed up right into the tent, and that was the party car. That was my introduction to Race Bar. That was my introduction to this whole crew. It was amazing.
One of my favorite-
I'm like, I like these guys.
Oh.
I believe there was some tall idiot dancing with a blow up doll that night too.
So that's one of my favorite things too. So Jimbo has probably put more money into speakers and stereos and amps than like actual race car parts in that car. And so when it started off, we had at the first race, we couldn't afford anything. We had your home stereo, like a plug-in one, hooked to an inverter, that was hooked into like a generator that was it was like the most confusing. It went from like AC power to DC power and back like 5 different times.
The best part about that first race, by the way, well, Pat, you can tell the story about the solo cups falling off the car at night when an open saying.
So we had this huge. We were there till like 3 a.m. and there's this big party going on with like beer pong and all kinds of stuff.
Well, we took the party to the judges area, like in the garage where they do the penalties and stuff, and they run the BS inspection. We just drove. We didn't have a garage. We just drove it into the garage, and we're like, the party's here. Let's have a party. And we had all our solo cups. We had beer pong. We set it all up, and a big party came. And it was in 2016. And at the end of the night, Obed just takes off. He's like, "Fuck yourselves," and just floors it, and all of the cups flew off the car. like the kegs ran out, and then they just took off. And him and Sam, and they just drove around and went back and parked it.
And that was that.
And the next day, every single one of our drivers got black flagged. And at some point in the race, every single one of our drivers got black flagged. And we came into the penalty area, and we would come in and stop, and the judge would say, "Was that you guys that left a big mess here for us to clean up the next morning?" And we're like, huh? Okay, just checking. Go ahead and get back out there and keep racing.
That was also back when we had the margarita maker on the top, and then we served everybody really dirty, disgusting margaritas after a day on the track with mud and shit all in it. Oh my god!
Margarita.
You guys are gonna love these margaritas. They're so good.
Like dirt.
Oh god.
We had
Hello.
I mean, you guys can appreciate this. Like getting into lemons, and you think that like you have no experience, and you think that it's all just gonna fail your first lap out there, and you put all this money, this time and effort, and you're so nervous and scared that your car is just gonna crash. Well, that happened. So Matt, we got to the track, and they had the very first race. None of us have any idea what we're doing, and they had the Friday open laps, and so we get there, and like I had a little bit of track experience, and I knew Matt and Sam had zero experience, and we're like, "Hey guys, we need to get this car on the track and go do some practice laps." And Matt's like, "Great, who's gonna drive it?" I'm like, "You're gonna drive it. Get in the car and drive it." And he goes, "Okay." He chugs a beer, and he's like, chugs a beer, and he's like, "Okay." I'm like, "Oh my god, our car is gonna crash. This is it. It's all over. What are we doing?"
Also, it was raining. Let's just throw that out there. Don't forget that little snippet.
And we go up into the bleachers to watch, and the very first lap around, he spins, and it almost hits the wall. He spins, goes into the grass, and just almost hits the wall. And we're like, no. Yes. and
That's why there was so much dirt in the margaritas.
There's mud all over the margarita machine. And he gets back on the track, and he goes back out around again, and he drives a whole lap, and he comes around again in the exact same spot, and then the car spun again, and the exact same thing happened. And, I think I just went and like cuddled in the corner.
So guys, as a team, what is probably one of the most incredible races that you've been to?
My favorite was New Jersey, the last New Jersey, where Matt was riding around one of those big bicycles with the big giant front wheel and the teeny tiny little one, and just like pedaling it around. And like Vicky, you were talking about the big tent that popped up that there was a DJ in at that race.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So this is the whole reason. This is my favorite race by memory. The DJ had set up, and he was like doing his first little set, and there was like one person in the tent just kind of like dancing around, and I saw that, and then our party was kind of petering out, and but we still had like 2 kegs left, so we rolled the whole car over, and we drove it like right into the tent at like a diagonal, like right in front of the DJ, like turned on all the lights and music, and like it was like, what's the folklore where the guy plays a little pipe and goes out of town, and all the snakes or all the rats follow him? You know, like it was like Is that
Pied Piper?
the Pied Piper? It was the Pied Piper, and like it was like the party was just like started going, and then at some point through the night, somebody. So the race bar is on, its lights are on, but the music's off. But the music is always playing in race bar. It's just whether the amp is on or not. And somebody tripped over the extension cord to the DJ's like big whole equipment and everything, and it was like, and there was like 100 people in there, and there was this big like booing sound from the crowd, and the DJ was like frantically running around, and one of us reached over and flipped the music on race bar, and it just like whoop, popped on, and like it was playing that song, you know, where it's like, saw her banging in the bathroom, wasn't me. And that just played, and everyone just started dancing again. And then at some point, the DJ like got my attention across the room, and he was like, "See you. You ready? Ready?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." And then he put his on, and we turned the race bar off, and then it just like seamlessly. We like, the guys.
That's incredible.
And later he came up and he was like, "Man, you guys just like saved my life out there. Oh my god."
Nobody even hardly noticed.
No, I was like, huh?
That was a great race because there were so many different contributions. That was the what do they call that? That was the Radwood Awards.
The Radwood. Radwood's always a good time.
Yeah.
That one was all over the place.
And those little cars were there. So Zero Energy Racing did the barbecue. They did this is the best part about that is we won the Life of the Paddock Party award. I like to say we stole it because we didn't do crap. We like all we did is connect the parties together. So they had the big barbecue and awesome food and 150 people out there and we're all eating barbecue. And then somebody else, it was one of the more famous teams. They brought the tent. They set the whole tent up and they brought the DJ. And that was happening with kind of nobody there. And we just kind of rolled people from one party to the next and just kind of connected them together. It's such a cool experience.
That was an incredible race. That was so much fun. Because then you had Three Pedal Mafia right across from the tent with the hot tub. And of course you had the guys going around with the Moscow mules.
Yeah.
Australia! Moscow Mule.
They made the whole time. They never broke script once. You'd walk up expecting them to be like, "Oh, hey, how are you?" And they were like, "Hello, how are you?"
The whole night.
Like in the bathroom, anywhere you saw them, they were doing it.
And I think you had to squat down to get the Moscow Mule, but you had to like do a thing to do it, like Moscow Mule. And they all dressed in black tracksuits, and they were going around with a moped that had the exact same. No, it wasn't. Well, maybe, but it had the same striping. And they had cups that had decals of them squatting, and they were just white, just a white cutout decal, like a die cut. Right on.
I want to find those guys.
They were hysterical.
I want to find those guys. What are they doing now?
Don't know.
I don't know.
We have a special guest request from the family Bates.
Hey, Bill. Oh, never mind. Go ahead. Go ahead, Ant-Man.
He's on my butt when you talked.
Not the first person.
Hello, my name is Anthony.
Ant-Man.
Yes.
What's up?
Man.
Yep, on his shirt.
That he let us host my birthday at his house.
Oh. That's awesome.
So how old were you?
All of our best friends.
How old were you at your birthday?
10.
Double digits. Good years. So I have a question. Of all of the crazy parties, because I really haven't known you guys that long, of all of the crazy parties that you've had at every racetrack, Can you share your favorite or most wild party?
Nope, actually we can't. Not here.
Listen,
Not here.
do you know how much editing I have to do before you even started
Wait
that
a minute,
question? I'm like, hold on.
It wasn't Charlotte with the bubbles all over the place and
Nope.
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 What about NT car?
That
or-
one was pretty good. I actually really liked that party a lot because nobody else was really partying and there was all these lights on and we wandered around the paddock and one by one shut off the switches and found that was a pretty good party, that entire one, the Charlotte one.
It was.
I had one of the worst hangovers in my entire life the next day. And then
that's
I
the
really-
first time we met Laura.
Yep.
You did one of the best, sketchiest go-kart burnouts I ever saw that night. That was awesome.
That was great. Well, I had someone helping me. I don't remember who it was, but someone was helping to give me a little bit of drift action in NASCAR paddock. You had the snow machine going, and everyone was on the ground doing snow angels in the NASCAR paddock. And they were like, "You guys better clean this up." And the next morning, it's like, "What do you mean? We had soap on the ground everywhere."
Everything.
It cleaned itself up. The party cleans itself. It's amazing.
That was quite a paddock.
Does anybody have an experience when things just completely went off the rails with the team?
Every race.
Every race.
Every podcast with race bar.
Remember that time we brought that team in and then it just didn't work out and now we don't talk to them?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. They don't.
That was a team that was a time when things went off the rails.
Yep. Everything went off the rails. Yep.
All right. So with the commander in chief, Mr. Webb, going away, does Race Bar have a plan for next year?
Well, that's the cool thing
Balkan
about
5000.
That's the cool thing about Race Bar is that we've kind of created a thing that kind of goes on. So like that was one of my most proud moments with Race Bar. Is the one time I couldn't go to a race, but it all still went on and it all still happened. And we got Race Bar West Coast going on. We got Race Bar up in Alaska
Chicago.
now. So yeah, I mean, even though Jimbo's not there, I mean, that kind of
Tell about some of the stories of how like we're kind of a small group of people, but somehow or another we've created somewhat of a brand that kind of surprisingly pops up in places you wouldn't expect it. I mean, with Fabian meeting Taylor, and we had a guy at a concert that he saw our shirts and he came up and he's like, "I saw your shirts from all the way over there and I had to come up and talk to you because I know exactly who your team is."
He's like,
and
"I saw your video."
How does that happen? Like,
Jim Andy, you'd be proud to know that Race Bar is now famous for one reason or another at Laguna Seca.
Oh my gosh.
Did you run down the front straight naked over there?
You see, I went there for an IMSA race, and after the track was closed, I got a little drunk, and I got a little naked, but I still had my race car shirt. And I ran into a few teams, and the Acura team, they're very nice.
Wait a minute, you're not that guy.
Saw my shirt and they're like, "Oh, you're the Race Bar guy." "Oh, I heard about you." I was like, "Oh."
Your reputation precedes you, sir.
No surprise looks across all these screens. Not one.
I just want to know who was the guy out rollerblading on the highway naked with a panda head. Did you guys see that video clip?
That was in Ohio.
Good idea.
The first thing I thought of was Race Bar.
The foreman that was jumping on the top of Race Bar.
I am not putting a link to the video of the guy naked rollerblading down the highway in Ohio. Just sorry, I'm drawing the line.
With a panda head.
With a panda head, yeah. No.
You could link it in the chat.
Okay, very well. It will come soon.
Hey, Bill.
Sir.
While we're at a transition here, what's the score of the Steelers Cincinnati game right now? I lost track.
Oh, no, I can look it up.
Well, I thought you might have a care about that since you're from that area.
Other side of the state.
But never mind. Forget it.
That's okay.
Pass. I know what it is.
You got to remember though, my family's from North Carolina, so if I was going to pick somebody, it would be North Carolina.
So have you guys discussed your schedule for next year?
Lucky Dog and the Lemons race next year.
Yep.
At least.
Lucky Dog was awesome.
And Danny?
You guys can do it. I won't be there.
Hey, if we do a race in Chicago, then you can actually meet a couple of our new race bar members that you've met tonight.
Totally.
So, Jimbo, what is the schedule again?
Lucky Dog is in July.
The same one at Charlotte or at Charlotte.
Yeah. I don't like their format of the 3 days. It's really difficult, but we're gonna do it, I think.
Yep. Which one is it?
Lucky Dog, Charlotte Roval.
If it's in July, I might actually be able to make that.
Do you think that they'll share the track again?
With who?
With us?
Well, no. Well, last time we were at Lucky Dog, they had to share the track with an HPDE event.
I think they're doing it again. Yeah, I think it's exactly the same, unfortunately.
Okay.
And then they have one at CMP too.
And then
CMP's gone.
CMP's gone?
Oh no! I'm sorry. For Lemons. CMP.
For Lucky Dog, yeah.
And then what are we thinking for Lemons? Is Chicago possible? I forget if we.
Like Thompson, Chicago, Joliet. Their Southern Discomfort one is now Bowling Green, Kentucky, and
NCM.
Sebring. Yeah.
When do you get back?
June.
Is that time?
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't tell you.
Oh, whoops.
He'll edit that out.
I can edit that out. Yes. It's a Tuesday. It's a Tuesday. He just can't say which Tuesday.
So you have 4 races total? Okay.
I don't know what we'll be able to do.
The
maybe December at VIR, right? That's always an easy one.
We might be there.
I wonder if NC Car would let us back. Maybe we should bust that out again.
Yeah, we should pull it, bust out NC Car.
Get kicked out again for a whole nother year.
The best part about NC Car is we all. My goal is to sneak us all in as instructors. So somehow or another, we've been managing to get more and more of us as instructors. And it's just a matter of time before we're like, yeah, this is a brand new driver. They're an instructor.
All right, so race bar. We need to talk Vicky and Jennifer into going to VIR.
Oh yes.
In December.
Yes. Is Ron Mexico doing something with your truck? Is it like happening?
I hope so.
Where do you
Ron
go?
Mexico has like all kinds of plans.
Yes.
You guys want to see the lobster? Hold on.
Sure.
I'm actually excited for next year because we didn't break any cars this year. I don't know why we didn't break any cars this year, but we didn't break any cars.
And Sam will be back.
And Sam will be back.
Wow.
So
what is that?
For new race bars, it's a giant lobster that's gonna have lights on it, and it blaze red light. And
that is
be like
awesome.
So when do you guys start working on your cars? Are you working on them now?
Always.
Ours aren't done.
Ever.
No, I wasn't sure like when you guys start planning your garage time after the holidays.
Ever. See, you race on Friday and Saturday and then Sunday, and then Monday you start working on the car.
Every Monday.
And Tuesday. And Wednesday.
How long has Baby Shark been being worked on?
Like a year and a half.
Where's Ron Mexico? He left.
He ditched us.
It's finally back. The engine's back.
Yeah, he's putting an engine in. It's been down for a year.
Can it still sing though?
Yeah.
Oh yes. But Fred Lobster is really our Fred Lobster hasn't really come out of its shell yet. So it's made some appearances.
Is it molting?
It's made some appearances, but it hasn't really, like, until it gets to a lemons race, it's not really going to come out of its shell.
That's where it started. That's where it was born.
Yeah, it's a lemons car. Yeah. So we're gonna have to do lemons race. I love Lucky Dog. They're I don't know. We saw them during COVID, so granted, not nearly as much to see. But I feel like lemons, like it's the recap videos that really sell it. You know, like I would pay extra money to have a recap video at Lucky Dog.
Yes. Maybe we should do the recap videos for them.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yes.
A
Right?
million hours of
Race bar style.
It would be good. Yeah.
Do y'all not have enough video to do that from Charlotte? Maybe?
Not that they could put out publicly.
Nothing that's appropriate though.
So here's an offer. If I can't talk the CFO and her sister into going to VIR,
Oh, you can race for this, Bill.
no,
You can.
I appreciate the offer, but
Yeah.
here
Hey, you hear that? He's racing with us.
I'm volunteering. I volunteered to do the video recap for the race. How about
What do
that?
we need to do to get you to come? Do we have to wear your shirts? Do we have to
Oh,
wear
God.
like split like Garage Heroes and training shirts with race bar? Do we just all wear Garage Heroes and training shirts and then drive race bar car? Or
Just have to say yes.
It doesn't take a lot to get me to want to drive a car. I mean, it's not exactly twisting my arm behind my back here. I can do that. I was just saying I could do the video recap. I could do the
Garage Heroes and Race Bar.
Oh.
So
wait, hold on. You have to cook for us though. That's the only stipulation. We need
I have to what?
You guys have to cook for us.
Oh, that's easy. But if I'm bringing the chefs, then we're racing.
Okay.
Now, when is VIR? Next December?
December.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here I am. Here's my sales pitch. Okay, so we go through this race season, hopefully with no COVID. We get there. We've been trying to get to VIR. We've been trying to get to VIR for 2 years now. She's not listening to me. Why am I doing this? No, you're not.
I am. I've been trying to get to VIR for 2 years.
So we have a great season. I get up to HPDE 4, maybe even better. You listen to me once in a while, just once, just try it. Come on, stay with me. So we finished the season, but what way to finish the season? Do you remember how much fun it was going to Road Atlanta and finishing the season with a nice away race? You guys just fly in, come down, take the race, go back. I'll take care of all the heavy lifting. You're an arriving driver in your own team. Why don't we finish the season the right way at VIR? And all you have to do is drive and cook for 40 people.
That's the easy part.
I'll bring it down. I'll bring everything.
All
right.
I don't even know why you're making this sales pitch.
Look at these people. They're hungry.
That's the easy part.
He's serving our country for 6 months somewhere. Don't know where. Don't know when. But, just assume.
At least you can do is serve him some damn
Give him
roast
some
beef.
food, woman.
Yeah, I think when Jimbo gets back, we need to have like the race bar race to end all races mega party with 1 million pounds of pulled pork and a giant tent with a DJ and all that stuff. And we can totally do a video, get a videographer.
Mm-hmm.
That is a lot of work too. We could hire somebody to come out and do a lot of that stuff for us.
We need to, and here's why. Race bar is under siege. Race bar, and let me tell you why. You have 3 kids that are slowly pulling you away from race bar. I've got 3 kids that are slowly pulling me away from race bar. Ron, Mexico, I hear, has a real girlfriend who is like in the flesh, like not made up, not
Listen, just because he got a new compressor for his air compressor doesn't mean we get to give him all this.
He told me, I make fun of him all the time, and I'm like, wait a minute, you're not you're single, right? Like you're allowed to date anybody you want. Like he's like, yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. But it's not true. I can see it in his face. It's so sad. Like he's like, I'm afraid that Ron Mexico, there is a real threat that Ron Mexico could die. And you could see the return of Jeff Kaplan, and it scares me. And we're going to, and COVID has really put a damper on everything. And we are going to have to, when this vaccine hits, and we're just going to have to like come back from this. And it's going to take a concerted effort, like all of us.
Okay.
Together.
So speaking as the elder statesman on this
Come
podcast
together.
right now, I understand your concern. However, what's going to happen is you have the kids pulling you away from race bar, but then they will reach an age where they become race bar, and race bar comes back, the second gen, and the race bar becomes even bigger and better and scarier. So all you have to do is just keep it humming along, and then the kids will get old enough where they get sucked into it like a whirlpool vortex. We're trying to do the same thing on our side, Vicky, and that's what's going to happen. Don't worry, it will live. What you have built cannot be broken by the hands of the COVID virus.
I
If
wish they had
anybody's going to kill the virus, it's going to be race bar. Have you seen what you guys drink on a weekend? There's no virus that's going to make it through this. Race bar is the anti-COVID. That's my story.
So we always have a dream that like race bar will someday start its own racing league. It's not going to happen. But in the race bar racing league, there would be a 1 hour break in the race from noon to 1 p.m. And there'd be a kids race at that time. And you would put your kids in the car. Minimum age is 8.
Those long-legged kids. Yes.
That'd be 9. Yeah.
The sad part is the kids would probably have faster times than we do.
There'd be a lot of kids throwing up in the car.
And that's different from the rest of the team that we have.
I think it'd be fun to do like something totally off the wall. Like you do the race and then you stop, but then there's a running race and you have to run around the track naked.
Oh.
Come back, get back in the cars, and then you go again, and then you have to like do all this weird stuff. Like, why do we have to just race for like 8 hours straight? How can't we? Just, like,
I think. Okay. I got it.
Or like Le Mans, except for everybody lines up naked and you got to get into your suit before you get in the car and start it.
All right. So I volunteered to take videos of these races. That is not the race I'm going to do the video for. Okay.
You said you take video.
You won't bend over too far if you're videoing.
Yeah, pretty much. I'll have to figure out how to do these big long rectangles everywhere, and I don't know how to do that.
So it's like an 8 hour like serious like champ car style like your ego is only as good as your placement at the finish line race, but yeah, like thrown into that is some other random, like you got to spin around the bat and get yourself really dizzy and then run and jump in the car, or like you have a little competition where you do 1 lap and you stop and then you have to run into the building or something, like just
or you could do some you could do like race bar where you take the head off the car and then everyone signs their name on the piston and you put it back together and drive it away.
At every race they bring they pick a random car and every single team has to do a head job on it, and, like sometime in the weekend, and they time you on your head job. Like it's just totally random car. You got to figure out how to do it correctly.
So here's what we do. We make a twister board, right? So it's got the colors, and in each color, it's got different parts of the car, and each team has to spin the spinner every pit stop. And at that pit stop, you have to take off what part you spin. It could be a spark plug. And you got to take that part out, and then you got to race for the next. And then when you come back in, you got to take another part off your car, and eventually, you'll know who wins.
I think what we're all trying to say here is all those serious teams that get really mad at us and need to listen to this podcast.
They're coming for you.
It's okay. We're just all slow drivers, so we're just That's how they would view us. It's like, you guys are just bad race car drivers. You don't know what you're even doing. You know, just.
No, we're not slow drivers, Jim. We're just bad around the track. I'd be really fast. I'd be really fast if it wasn't for the turns and all the people on the track.
They slow you down.
The tire wall.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
So Miss Bates, you had your first race ever with Race Bar?
Well, it was a HPD. It wasn't a race, but
Okay.
First time driving race bar, first time on the track.
So we do a horrible job of preparing our team. We tried and we did it really, really poorly, and we're getting better at it. How did Race Bar do? Did you feel like you had a clue as to what was going on?
What's preparation?
Okay.
I like her already.
Sounds like she should be on our team and not your team, because that's what we do.
We try so hard, though.
I'm going back in February to do it again, though, so I had a fun time.
Say it, Jen.
Huh?
Say it.
Say what?
All right. You missed it. Too late. She said she's going to do it again.
Oh,
I'd do it again.
Absolutely. I'd do it again.
Very well. Miss Ann, you're coming back up, I hear. Was that rumor true?
I am. We are. Yes. Sometime.
So we'll be there. Yeah, the good news is you waited long enough, so now we have a foot of snow. So good job. Awesome. Can't wait. Can't wait to move a car that has no wheels through a foot of snow. This should be great.
Can't be much worse than moving the one we had before.
Well, the other one ran some of the way. It only shed a few parts on the way to the trailer.
It ran for about 20 feet or so.
Minor details. That'll be fun. So we'll do that. So Mr. Webb, we did this for you. We wanted to let you know we cared. We wanted to let you know that we appreciate everything you do for racing, for our country, for the military, for your family, for the Race Bar family, for the racing family in whole. So when we were asked to have a podcast in your honor, we said, no freaking way. But they paid us a lot of money, and we said, this is a great idea. Actually, as with all of our podcasts, no money is exchanged ever. So we did want to say thank you. We did want to wish you well. Enjoy the holiday season.
I'm going to miss you.
I'll miss you.
Well, you guys, I'm just gonna say something nice about what you guys do, because you put these podcasts on. You spend a lot of effort and time and energy going into consistently producing this podcast, and I think it's absolutely amazing what you're doing, and you provide a lot of entertainment for people, and thank you, because this is really cool that we get to be part of it. So.
That's awesome.
No worries. We figure you've got 6 months, 24 hours a day. Least we can do is give you an hour or two every week. Not a problem.
But I love the fact that you guys are. I like to say you're journalists of life, and you're reporting on the adventures that you come across, and I think that is just really cool. So.
Well, the theory is, if we can do it, anybody can.
That's right.
That's right.
The big question is if we can do it, but that's a different story. So.
We're still figuring it out.
Doing it anyways.
Right. Listen,
I do like the race bar and training idea though with the kids.
Yeah.
Do that.
Race bar,
Yeah.
training, garage heroes and training. Wow.
Race bar and training.
We could do. I know New Jersey has a go-kart track. We rent the go-kart track the same weekend.
We should totally do that.
That would be fantastic.
I would.
And then you have an actual excuse to play Baby Shark.
There we go. Sorry. Only the kids.
Well, I've always wanted to get the kids into go-kart racing, but the problem is go-kart racing is a little bit like they're the serious. It's very serious and competitive. I think for the 5-year-olds, which is the youngest, it's maybe not quite as bad, but the parents quickly just spools out of control, and they want to make a career racers out of it.
Not if we invade the track and rent the whole thing.
That's right.
And
fun.
we bring the Twister card, and they have to lose parts too. Why do I think this Twister thing's going to come to bite me?
You might not want to go streaking down that track in the middle. I don't know.
Then when the kids, they'd probably go chasing after us, trying to run us down. And they're probably much faster. So,
oh, did you tell them the bad news about the orange shorts, Jimbo?
Oh, this is terrible.
There are none as far as I know.
I think about this on almost a daily basis. Sophie, the company that makes the men's Ranger panties
and other cheerleading supplies.
Sophie, I don't know why. I've emailed them, I've called them multiple times. They won't respond to me. I think in a money-saving effort,
another person.
That's another list.
I think in a money-saving effort due to the COVID, this is what I'm saying in my head, they've decided to reduce their color selection, and they no longer make orange. It's really sad. So I've been scouring the internet, and I found a pair of used men's Ranger panties, and I bought them. I've also been digging through my drawers trying to recover other versions that I might have and saving them. We've ordered about 5 different types of orange shorts. Nothing is even close. You can't compete with that. There's no other solution. So I found panty material, and I ordered like a yard of it or 2, and I was going to make the shorts myself or send them to Bahrain to my suit guy in Bahrain and have him make men's Ranger panty shorts out of this orange material.
These are really important shorts.
And when I brought this out at a party, Christina instead just wrapped me in a toga, and we've decided that this orange material actually makes a far better toga material. So I think at our next race race is we're going to have a bunch of people wrapped in orange togas. Maybe orange and green togas.
Yes.
Because if you have orange shorts, don't get rid of them. They are valuable.
We sell them on eBay for $99.99.
I was at Jim's house and Becca got delivered in a box of cereal, an empty box of cereal. And she pulls out these orange shorts and drops them on her counter. Oh my God, Andy, what are these? Used men's shorts and an empty cereal box off eBay that ended up on her kitchen counter.
Turns out it's like a race bar team out there that we don't even know about. They're like on the other side of the country, and they like all wear orange shorts too.
You send all your orange shorts to, Jandy Webb. He's at
racebar.gmail.com.
I find it hard to believe that you can't find any in California. Can't your California team find any out there?
No, right?
How hard it was to find them when I was looking for them. And I thought even living down here, being in Clemson territory, that there would be orange shorts all over the place, and there's not.
And well, here's the thing. There's orange shorts. There are plenty of orange shorts on eBay and Amazon and everywhere.
They're not the right
men's Ranger panties.
They're not the nice, soft, and silky ones.
It's just not the same.
Laura, what were you saying a minute ago? It was really quiet. You were stepped on.
Oh, it's fine. There were the orange shorts that I wore to Charlotte were Gap, and they were awesome. And I remember actually, I think it was you who were like, "Where'd you get those?" And they were very similar in shade and material to the ones you guys had.
So did you go to Gap and were you like, "Show me your finest orange shorts. I'm going to a race bar race. I need to be chocolate."
2 days before the race, and you guys have been texting everyone, "Hey, everybody, make sure you get your orange shorts for the race." And I'm the biggest procrastinator in the world, so like we're on the way down to the race, and I'm like, "Oh, I don't have orange shorts." I Google searched, not women's neon orange running shorts. And the first thing that came up, or one of them, was like on Gap's website. And I like
In
did
COVID.
COVID, I went into a Gap store, mask on. I asked them where their running shorts were, and they directed me over to the area. And I said, I don't see them. I'm looking for a pair of orange running shorts. And they're like, oh, I know which ones you're talking about.
The clerk just tears her shirt off and have a race bar shirt underneath. Let me show you. They're like, right.
When they pop back up, they've got a huge mustache.
Or he goes in the back and breaks out a cereal box and starts walking towards you.
Oh my god.
Suddenly the race bar theme song Motley Crue starts playing in the loudspeaker.
Exactly.
Ron Mexico was at a convention in South Carolina. It was like an automotive mechanic shop convention, and apparently they had a seminar about how to brand your business, and they're like, here's an example of how you can brand your business, and they put the race bar logo up on the PowerPoint, and Ron Mexico was wearing a race bar shirt, and he's like, what? How did you get our logo?
He tried to get away, and he couldn't get away there.
That's awesome. Was that the same one where he drove his car into the hotel lobby and played the music at like 1,000,000 decibels?
He drove Baby Shark into the hotel lobby at the Marriott, and like inside the building, like no shit, somehow they got it through the doors and they brought it into the lobby, and the manager was like, what the hell is going on? He's like, it's okay, it's fine, everything's fine. And it was at OFest, BMW OFest, and they just parked in the lobby, and then he turned the speakers on, was like playing Motley Crue or something, and until they told him to turn it off.
Oh, you guys get up into the weirdest situations.
Oh yeah.
You're just realizing that now?
If only he was still here, he could send us a picture of that. Man.
Oh, there they are.
There they are.
Hottie hot shorts.
I love it. I love it. And I guarantee you they are not the same. They're not. There's nothing. Even Laura's shorts that she had, as great as they are, there's $58.
Exactly.
Jeez.
Or 4 installments.
When I have to buy my shorts with installment plan. Oh wait, we got to make this race bar size. The 2.5-inch inseam.
Okay, these are better. Okay, let's do it.
There you go.
One problem with them is they have a pocket and I thought that would be a problem with the shorts, but one nice thing about the race bar shorts is there's no pocket, so I can't carry my cell phone, so I just have to like forget about everything else and like.
Why is that nice? You lose your phone every time. We all lose our phones every time.
I want to have my
But
phone.
your phone are bigger than the shorts.
We found your phone on the side of the highway the next day. It was on the side of the highway. It had been run over, and it ended up in a restaurant. Because they're short.
Yeah, I shouldn't even had it in the first place. I should have been just living my life and living in the moment, right? That was an awesome night. The Big Woody or Big, what was that? Big Ugly.
Big Ugly, yeah.
All right, race bar.
My phone that got lost. We found my phone. It was
both our phones got lost.
Your phone got lost forever.
Because I put it in a toolbox.
Yeah. My phone came back. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that night we had parked the car inside the brewery, so they let us pull it inside the brewery, and we had a big party inside the brewery, and it was great, and the smoke and the colors of fire and whatnot. But we had the party, and one of the kids pressed the starter button, and the starter cranked, and I suddenly realized that had it been in gear, we would have had a big problem. So I pulled the fuse for the starter, and then at the end of the night we were all so drunk, except for the one person who was going to drive the car home, who was completely sober. And we're trying to start the car for the one person who would drive it. And we couldn't start it. We're like, oh, the battery must be dead. We're like trying to it won't start. I don't know what's wrong. We're stuck on stupid. So we're like, put it in fourth gear, and we all just pushed the car, and we're like, pop the clutch, and they popped the clutch, and it started, and she just took off. She never the engine started, and she just kept going, and she just turned onto the street and drove away, and just we hear her go, and just drove away. And it turns out Pat's phone was on the back of the car, and Pat's phone fell off into the street. And the car made it home. And
we got home some other way. I don't know how.
we sat in Baby Shark. We squeezed like 4 people in Baby Shark.
Look forward to trying to hook up with you guys this year.
You really have to work on your wording with these people.
I've been letting so many things go tonight.
I know. It's killing me.
I'm not even gonna start. There's a whole list in my mind. It's just been bugging the hell out of me. I can't like respond to any of them. He's gonna have a lot of editing to do already. Damn it.
I know. I know.
So VIR is next December.
Yep.
What day? It's going to be the first weekend, correct?
Do you really want me to bust out our schedule?
I believe it's the first weekend.
Yes, it is. It's the one where you complain that you're going to have your birthday dinner, which can move.
Birthday?
What?
No, it's not birthday.
It's Christmas girl weekend away.
Sister weekend with bonus mom.
Which you never schedule in time, so I'm taking the weekend.
We might have to do it the following weekend, Jen.
Yeah.
But I would be willing to go to VIR.
12-4, 12
You know they have a spa there, right?
Listen, do you want the food or do you want her to be comatose from being at the spa? Pick your choice.
I don't know. Our girls' weekend away, we ended up at a cigar bar, so it'll have to top that.
Yeah.
Please don't challenge Race Bar to top something.
No, they I'm sure they can. Oh, we could do girl weekend at VIR.
There you go.
Oh no.
I still got no preparation. Actually, they trained me very well.
Yes, but we were actually talking about the driving, not the non-driving.
So is VIR like a NASCAR track? Does it have walls and
No.
Jen?
No.
Yeah, VR has big open fields.
There you go, Jen.
But there was an entire wall.
Fields.
Walls hurt.
A lot more friendly if you make a mistake.
At VIR, if you wipe out, you go off. If it's like wet, you like fly off into the grass and go off into like the ether. You're just like,
It's like
come out and find you.
It's like VIR and flat Earth.
It's like, and then she went off the track. ...
Like people hiking boots and like you're like gone for like an hour out there.
So we ran across a person who has raced in. Did he race in Lemons?
If I knew who you were talking about.
Adam.
Okay. No. He has
Was
not.
he racing? He's HPDing.
He's HPD and Champ Car so far.
What's his last name?
Owens.
Yes. He's a radio personality. And I think he was interested in actually doing video.
He was.
Oh.
Yeah. We could actually do some pretty funny stuff.
Oh.
I have a guy who is a videographer that is totally willing to come like out to VIR and like.
Are you talking about Doug, the guy that made our documentary and then became famous and now would charge us like $10,000 an hour to do anything for us?
No, I got another guy.
Actually, really, really freaking good.
No, this is pre-Doug.
How many guys do you have, Pat?
Well, Doug doesn't know, but we were basically his stepping stone to fame. So, you know,
we made him famous.
He would come back and do an honorary.
I think he secretly hid our video. He's like, I'm not going to make that one. I'm not using that one for my resume. He has a podcast for our NPR, and he also does voices, and he's done some like documentaries and stuff. Like Doug is really amazing.
I have to ask, did anybody get the attachment in the chat? Does it open for you?
I have, the chat is growing in length. It now says 10.
No, it doesn't open.
Jandy, click to open that one.
Yeah, it's him in the toga and the orange get up thing.
I could save.
It's just a big.
You don't have permission to say. Okay.
Why is it not doing it?
Oh, I got it.
You did get it.
All right, share it.
Hold on. Coming.
That's what she said.
Yes. First one of the night.
They need to be the new costume.
I love how
Sorry, Jandy, I just had to.
Let me explain this a little more clearly. There's some little subtleties in this photo. There's a solo cup, a crushed solo cup on the ground. There's a race bar in the background. Andy's garage in like a very nice sepia tone, and then a leaf blower.
This is one of the few pictures that you guys have shown that I can actually
All right,
attach to
so
the
describe
podcast.
it for our audience because we're still podcasting.
And Andy is wearing a beautiful, looks like to be a full yard of panty material.
Neon orange.
Oh, if you look real close, there's an arm of a kid like in between his arm. That's weird.
And he's got the lime green sneakers that match the shirt.
Yep. Yes, you're right. I think we're onto something here with this idea.
I think you are. No
So-
shorts, but
Are you sure that's a kid? It looks like a wing.
No, that's a.
he's got chickens.
Oh, wow. He does have chickens.
Oh my goodness.
Jimbo, remember when you came into your backyard and shut up, Ruth. When you went into your backyard and race bar was gone, it was just gone, and somebody had stole it, and you called me like in a frantic. You're like, "Oh my god!"
I was working on it. I had all the wheels off of it, and like before I went to bed, I put the wheels on and pulled out the jack stands.
And then it was gone.
And I woke
And
up
you
next
called me
morning and it
all
was
freaking
gone.
out. And I was like, well, is there any sign of where it could have gone? And you went out there and there was just a lonely red solo cup. Like,
That
like-
meant Jeff Kaplan was there.
crushed. It took us, what, an hour or two to track it down?
Yeah, because you're like, well, is there any chance that were you drinking last night? And I was like, well, not really. I'm like,
Not really. Which
like,
means maybe.
and I'm like, well, did I move it? Did I park it somewhere else? Like, I'm like, is my memory failing me? I went through every possible option in my head,
When
and
you last see it.
and we put it up in the group. We're like, hey, did someone take race bar? And like
I
nobody,
lost my car.
nobody. Everyone's like, no, we've been. There's no. Why would we take race bar? Why would we?
How do we figure out who it was? You're like, I know who took it.
I just had a feeling. I just knew. Like, there's only a few people it could really be. And
So what happened?
So Becca and I jumped in the minivan with the kids, and we're like, we're gonna get them. We're gonna get them. They got it. We know they got it. At least we hope they've got it. They don't have it, then we're in trouble. And
which is funny
we
because
go all the way over to Matt and Sam's house, and we pull up there. We pull it in their cul-de-sac, and sure enough, race bar is sitting in their driveway, and they were still asleep. So I took the car and I backed it right up to their front door of their house, their yard, right up the front door of their house. And I turned the music at full volume. I turned Motley Crue on, and I turned the amp on, just max volume. And their neighbors, all their neighbors are coming out of their house. That was the best part. Was their neighbors came out before they came out.
Oh my god. What's funny, I can't believe we even thought anyone else would have stolen it. Could you imagine being like a total stranger or like a bad guy and like a car stealer guy, and you get in race bar and you're like, okay, how do I start this thing? Okay, a big red switch, and then nothing happens. And then there's like 15 other switches you have to know, but some of them are like sideways. And some of them like off is on is off, and it's just very confusing. Turn one on, all these lights come on. It's good.
Oh man, that was good. Should I show you my boobs? Are we at the point in the party when I show you my boobs? Have we done that yet tonight? Has anyone shown their boobs yet tonight? That usually happens in our Zoom meetings where somebody will show their boobs, and the last time it happened it was completely by accident, and she's like, well, hey, did I just show you my boobs? Oh no! Oh, you gotta delete this. You don't save this. We're like, don't totally didn't just say it.
It's not the worst thing you've said on a podcast with us before, so don't worry.
Yeah, I can say boobs.
Is this whole thing like recorded and it's in like the National Archives now for like the rest of time? And like,
nope.
When like the apocalypse happens, it'll be like a little cartridge sent to space that has the recordings of this. It's like,
no, I only keep what we publish. So.
Oh no.
So we can usually get an episode out of this. The nice thing is you guys come on for like 2 or 3 hours and I get like an hour of podcast. So it's awesome.
What are you guys doing? What are you what's going on right now? What do
you mean?
Our
garage?
Yeah, I've been downloading your episodes, but I haven't listened to any yet. I'm taking them with me on the
Hey, that's one more thing than everybody else does.
I didn't want to listen to them and spoil them. I want to save them for when I'm literally have nothing else in my life going on. I'm staring at the wall.
It seems like it seems like the less we do, the longer our podcasts go, because the past few have been like 3 hours plus. It's pretty scary.
Hey, we should share with them some of our late night podcasts. Remember those, Andy? The campfire chats, the round.
We have one where we made a song. We made a
we should share that.
Baby Shark song.
Will they play this? Okay, you have to promise me one thing in honor of Jimbo Webb and his deployment, that you'll play the Baby Shark song on the end of this podcast.
I cannot play the Baby Shark song unless it's re-recorded.
You will not regret it.
No, it will get pulled down.
No, don't worry. This is all original.
Oh, then I can do anything.
You will not have any copyright issues with this song.
Yeah, we made it ourselves. Yeah.
All right, then I can do that. So I'll put it at the end of the podcast. Not a problem.
This one. I feel like Opa had a big influence on this song.
No, we have a guy on our team that's never raced with us, and he is so race bar type and funny, and he was there for this.
Are you playing it now?
No, but I'm finding it. I am finding it. It's
we have our garage. Let me see. We've been having massive garage sale.
Oh.
Getting rid of vehicles, and we happen to have Ann come by and pick up one of our vehicles.
Two.
Coming back for a second.
Coming back for 2.
Yep. How many did we get rid of?
7,
5,
7
6?
So far.
Yes.
What? Well, not the truck though, right?
No, we got the truck.
Wait, so what do you have now?
Nothing.
We have the truck. We have 2 Civics. We have 3 E46s, and we have 3 Miatas.
Wow.
Have any of you guys?
But they're also they're also daily drivers in HPDE cars.
Yeah.
I am.
The Spider Stang went.
E46s?
Yeah, they're not. They're over in Jersey right now.
Have you guys ever driven a race bar before? Any of you 3?
No.
No.
You gotta get that fixed.
Are you hearing that?
Yes.
Baby shark poop 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 poop. Baby shark poop.
I don't think anybody's going to claim a copyright on that.
Shark poop 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 poop. Shark poop poop poop. Papa shark poop poop.
Yeah,
Let
the Google bots try and figure out what that thing is.
Grandpa shark. Grandpa shark.
It sounds like you're saying shart, not shark.
Grandpa shark. I shit my pants.
Unhear it now.
No, it's all over me. Grandpa shark. No, it's all over me.
Who's Donald Duck in the background?
It smells like fish.
I can hear Ruth laughing.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, God, it smells terrible. It does smell bad. It's real bad. I'm sorry. Swim away. Swim. I can't swim. We should swim away. Oh, yeah. Shit. Get out of here. Guys, I'm sorry. Like, I'm... no, it's all over me. Yeah.
And I thought the podcast was going to be hard to edit.
I shit my pants. I don't know if I can do this anymore. Shit my pants. Oh my God, my food. It's like on my mouth. Oh. Nice.
Okay. I think we better call this an episode soon, or else you're going to leave before the podcast is done.
Oh my God.
Funny.
Mr. Webb, thank you. Be
I will send
safe.
it to you.
Be safe. Thank you for everything. Enjoy the holidays and come back safe so we can go play on the racetrack.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Race bar!
Race bar!
Oh my.
Guys.
We made it.
Dominating with Dawson.
Ben Dawson, number one most important thing that you learn when driving on the track that helps you on the street, you said was braking.
Brakes.
Okay.
That's what I said.
So, for our new friends who are new to track driving or potentially going to start track driving, hopefully soon, come on by.
What an exciting time.
Come on by.
Yes, what a great time.
We'd love to give you stickers.
Yeah, we wanted to know you.
Absolutely. So, there's several different techniques for braking that you may use on the track. You may not use all of them. You may misapply some of them, but I think it might be worthwhile to go over a few of them, at least the basic ones, just so everybody's aware of what they can do and how they're typically applied. So
let's hit them.
So the first one is normal street driving. You push on the brake gradually. It gets down to about 50% of the braking thing, and then you gradually slowly remove your foot off the brake and creep to a stop.
As you come to a stop. Yeah, I got
okay.
you. Gotcha.
How many times do you do that on a racetrack?
Never.
Okay, good.
Zero.
Don't do that. Okay. So
it's not. Well, it's a different kind of. It's a different kind of requirement.
Right. Yep. So we're not worried about spilling the tea in the back seat. We're not worried about knocking stuff over. What is the fundamental first braking technique that you try to instill in your drivers when you're teaching them the first time out on the track?
I try to instill the ideal. We're not going to be able to execute it immediately, but we try to instill the ideal of threshold braking. And the threshold that we're talking about is you're right at the threshold of your of locking up the tires if you don't have ABS, or you're right at the threshold of your automatic braking system or ABS module kicking in and start to pulsate the brakes automatically for you because you're at the point where you were going to lock up the tires. Okay. Does that make sense?
So Jennifer, what does threshold braking mean to you?
I don't like this question.
I know. It's not your favorite.
I always get it wrong.
It's not your favorite. So
when I first heard it, the way I got it wrong when I first heard it, that when an instructor said do threshold braking, I understood it for some reason to mean I needed to brake to like set the brakes and initially kind of get some braking pressure going and then progress toward full braking pressure right to the point of locking up the brakes. But that's not what it means. That's how I misunderstood it at first. But then the correct understanding is you want to be at the threshold of your braking force immediately. So the idea is to get on the brakes as quickly, as hard as you can, as late as possible to get turned in. But once you begin your braking is to be braking at the threshold of locking up the entire time you're braking and then letting off the brakes. These are different ways. Yes. So the expectation is you immediately get all the brake pressure applied right then. As soon as you want to start slowing down, you slow down at the maximum rate.
So Jennifer, would you like to phone a friend on this one?
Would I like to phone a
Yes.
friend? Well, Ben just answered it.
All right. Then I'm gonna ask you another question since you know it. Haha.
Okay.
Miss Jennifer.
You never get away. You can't get away from Bill. You can't.
No.
You can't
I
evade
know.
his intentions.
Because I want to make sure my teammates know what they're doing and make sure our listeners know what
Here
they're
we go.
doing. So if you were to
Let's do it.
describe the pedal action on the brake for threshold braking, Jennifer, what would you be
Yes.
doing? You're coming to the end of a straightaway and you want a threshold brake. Initially, when
You wanna push-
you're a new driver at an HPDE, they're going to typically
Right.
teach you to threshold brake, and they want you to threshold brake only in a straight line just to start.
Right.
So what would you do with your foot?
Are we like lightly touching the pedal? Are we staying off the pedal
No,
to
I
the
know
last second?
you push it down almost to the point where you're locking it.
Okay. And
Right. You get all the braking you can get immediately is what you're saying. You give it all the pressure you can get right before you chirp the tires.
Right.
So are you just like stomping on the brake, or are you kind of
No, but it is a
quick squeeze?
yes, it is a firm, fast stop, but controlled.
Okay. So once you're good at this, and I think Ben's going to agree that the hardest thing for a new driver on a track to realize is how much braking they can do, how much your car can brake. Is that true, Ben?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to. It takes some time to learn to find the limit of the adhesion between the pavement, surface, concrete, whatever it is, and your tires. So you have to learn how much is too much, and then a lot of times you learn that by getting into the ABS, where if that happens, you can feel the brake pedal pulsing against your foot, or if you lock up the tires, you'll know because you're sliding and you can see smoke pouring off the tires.
Right, but
that's too much. You can also do way too little. You can think you're braking pretty hard and not be getting enough. So
which is more what I think I see from newer drivers. The amount of braking that your car is capable of doing is much higher than you probably think. So Jennifer, once you squeeze the brake on rapidly, quickly, and you're just at the threshold of sliding, what do you do with the brake pedal then in threshold braking? Do you hold it there? Do you push a little harder?
No, you slowly start to come off of it.
Okay. Do you know why you do that?
I don't know.
Okay. Jen, I mean,
Because I mean,
it's that physics thing again that Vicky hates.
Oh, I hate it too.
Oh, then you go on the gas.
No, not yet. We got to stop. We got to slow down first. But yeah.
Okay.
So when the car is,
I don't know what you're asking. I guess.
know it's late. We're going late tonight.
I know.
So when you jam on the brakes for threshold braking, you throw all that weight forward, and then your car starts to slow down. And if your car starts to slow down and your weight stops transferring forward as much,
so you want
to back off
you
on the
come off
brake
it slowly so it starts to transfer back.
because it'll start to slip if you kept it at that high level because you don't have as much pressure. Okay. All right. And then in first time track driving, newbie drivers, typically the rule at most HPDEs is to brake in a straight line.
Yes.
Get all your braking done before you start to turn. Right. But
that's the safety way they teach you to do it is to do it that way.
But
in HPD 1, absolutely yes.
Yes. But Ben, I think
there is a but.
There is a but. There is this concept called trail braking, and some people just naturally do it from the way they drive on the street. So what would trail braking be? What would the difference between a threshold straight brake be to a trail brake?
Well, first of all, when we think about trail, what do you say the trail braking? What we're talking about doing is we're trailing off the brakes. It's also on the trailing end of the braking zone. The idea is that you want to trail off, which means to slowly ease off the brakes. Not just to completely pop your foot off the brakes, but to ease off the brake pressure. I'm sorry, I'm watching my dog run into my 3-year-old's room who's asleep.
Not helpful.
That worked
That's
out.
not helpful.
So far, so good. Sorry about that, everybody.
This is part of trail breaking. You got to have your
So-
dog run into your 3-year-old's bedroom while they're sleeping. Is that part of trail breaking?
Definitely. Every lap you had to have your dog run into your sleeping kid's room. So you're trailing off the brakes, and the idea is that you're doing that to because as you come in with the brakes pinned, you've got all the weight slammed down. Not all the weight, but you've got a lot of the weight of the vehicle
forward,
slammed down to the front. So you want to come off the brakes. You want to ease off the brakes so that you put more weight to the rear, so that you're ready to apply the throttle to come out of the turn. So you're doing that in service of transferring the weight and getting the car to go down to the apex. So you also extend your braking zone a little bit into the turn-in zone, so it gives you a little bit more time to stay on the gas if you want to brake a little bit later. Does that make sense?
I think the key to trail braking is really, if you're still on the brake after you've done your initial turn, no matter how far it is or how short it is, that is a form of trail braking. And then there's levels.
Yeah, sorry, you're right. I didn't really include that, but you're trailing off the brakes as you begin your corner entry. I think the dog ran in my kid's room distracted me from the central part of the thing, but the idea is that you're incorporating the brake release or the coming off the brakes as with your turn in, which also helps you kind of rock it right down to the apex if you get it right.
So, Miss Jennifer, are you trail braking yet? I don't think you are, but I'm not.
No.
Not yet. Okay.
I'm not saying that I
think
never
about it.
have, but generally it's not intended.
Okay.
Let's put it.
Okay.
You probably are. You're probably doing it and not thinking about it, because it is
Yeah.
something. It's a concept. I literally never think about, like, let me trail brake into here. Like, I know it's happening, but it's never something that I've concentrated on.
Yeah.
You're not alone.
Nope, not at all. And you don't have to trail brake. I mean, for instance, in the one group that we do most of our HPDs with, trail braking is taught in HPD E2, and you don't have to experience, not experience it, demonstrate it.
You don't have to show it
until
off.
HPD 3. So it's kind of more advanced. But if you're doing it, don't not do it so you fit, is what I would say. But I may get into trouble.
Right.
There's a couple other things that you may do on track. There's 2 other ways where you don't need to slow down perhaps quite as much. What other ways of slowing down might you use on a track fundamentally, Mr. Dawson?
Shift.
You can shift. Yeah,
sorry.
shifting would do that. Or lifting off the throttle, just a lift. So suppose there's just a little bit of, it's a little faster than you want to go through a small turn. You may just lift off the gas, which will slow you down by aerodynamic drag, right? And then maybe just a little bit of a brush brake, right? What would brush braking be, Ben?
That's when you just kind of slap a little pressure on, like, sorry, I shouldn't say slap, but you gently, you put your foot on the brake pedal. And when I'm thinking about brushing the brakes, usually I'm just trying to do it just more for chassis dynamics than for losing speed. So
settle the car.
An example that always pops in, you're trying to settle the car. So an example for me that pops into mind is when you come shooting up through the S's at VIR. Obviously, I'm going to talk about VIR, but you come through the S's and you come out of the last S and you're trying to turn back to the right. Your car is heavily loaded. And you're trying to get your car back to the right so you can be straight for a left-hand turn in South Bend, which is a really big, really fast turn, like 90, 95 mile an hour turn. So you got to be pretty heavily committed. But you come up out of the S's and your car is just completely all asses and elbows, and you need to honk that thing down so it can take this big turn in. So the idea there is you don't need a big brake to make it through the turn, but you need a brake just to get the car recentered. So recentered and get the weight back on, get a little bit of weight on the nose so that it will accept the rotation as you ask it to turn into this big old left-hand turn. So you come up out of the S's, all arms akimbo and wheels kind of everywhere. You just use the brakes. You just brush it. There's a section where the track dips down and comes back up. So I always kind of wait until right where it comes back up, so that little bit of a hill helps me. But brushing the brakes means I go and just come right back off the brakes.
So it's
just a really short time, light compression, not a ton of force on the pedal. I'm really just trying to do it just to get just to pull the springs back down.
Maybe just a little speed control, but mostly to settle the car.
Right. You may need to lose a little speed, but there are also times where you're really just doing it more than anything, just to reset, reweight the car, get some weight back on the nose so it will accept the rotation you're about to ask for.
Jennifer, did you ever brush brake the car to this point yet?
Have I what?
Have you ever used brush braking on the track yet?
No.
No. Okay.
Yeah, like a lot of times I'll tell a student like, "Hey, we're going to come through and just brush the brakes," and that means just sort of you put your foot on the pedal and just push down a little bit, really quick, just to sort of reset the car. It's once you've done it, you'll be like, okay, I get it, but it's not something that's required in a lot of places.
It's not that I haven't done it. I haven't done it consciously to like.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You've probably done it plenty of times. You've probably been doing it a bunch of times and don't realize you're doing it. You know, like it's like in traffic. If you're in traffic and you kind of realize like, oh, I see the group ahead of me kind of slowing down. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little speed correction right now. You maybe step on your brakes so you don't have to roll right up to them and slam on the brakes. That's kind of how I think of it as far as it might translate to a street driving thing. Is I just make a quick adjustment, knowing the pace is about to change a little bit.
Yeah, the way I always think about it in my mind is it's kind of like when you touch the brakes trying to get your cruise control to stop. But,
right.
But you're not trying to slow the car down. You're just trying to get the car to stop going 70 in the 70 zone.
Right. That's a good example from the street.
Yeah. So Jennifer, I think that the place where you probably used it the most was on the backside of Pittsburgh, where the S's are again. After you go down the hill, and you're just going through the S's, you're just kind of a little gas, a little brush brake, a little gas, a little brush brake, and just trying to get through there and enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Very well. All right. So those are.
So you're talking about a place. Sorry, just real quick. You're talking about a place where you're sort of using that to modulate. You're sort of modulating where the car's going back and forth through the S's, right? So, and that's what I mean too. And generally, you would brush the brakes just to sort of modulate, make a sort of an adjustment or just something like that. But it's not a big consequential braking moment.
Yeah, it's these are turns that are probably just little oscillations. S's is what they called on the track, and you just want the car to be settled, but you also you're constantly wanting to put a little gas in, and sometimes you put a little too much gas in and throttle if you want to get fancy, and sometimes you need to slow it down a little bit, or sometimes you have a little bit more weight transfer than you want, so you want to settle the car down. You would just kind of brush the brake a little bit. You don't want to threshold brake because you don't need to, but you don't want to go through too fast and get behind. If you're behind, then a whole bunch of other problems happen. So
right. It's a maintenance modulation pretty much to make sure the next thing you're going to go okay.
Exactly. So most of the turns that are like near 90 degrees and above, you're going to try to do threshold braking. Maybe work your way towards trail braking with threshold braking, and you may need to do a lift or a brush brake less often. I would think would be typical.
Right.
And how many times?
Right.
How many times do you do street braking on the track?
0 times of ever.
0.
No limo stops.
No limo.
No stops where you just like stop in a limo and roll up the light.
Exactly.
That's not how it works on the track.
Does that make you feel better, Jen? You ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right. Very well. Thank you, everybody.
Okay.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you. I'm ready for 2 loads of laundry and all my dishes.
She's got the track blocks on her feet right now. She's see that?
I'm wrapping my cords up.
That,
I've been up since 3 a.m.
See that opening?
So I'm exhausted.
The opening off to the right there. She's going up to bed, hanging right.
Well, thanks for hanging in. Thanks for hanging in with my wacky schedule. I can't get the kid. I can't get out of the kids' room until like 8:30 every night. All right.
Look, when Bill texted, there were no guarantees that I was coming. But
well, I'm glad. I think these always go better when it's not just me and Bill, and we have somebody who we can talk to who has a little bit less experience. I think it helps relate. So that's great.
No, the Ben ones are fun. They're all fun.
I hope I didn't.
The Ben ones are particularly fun.
Good.
All right. Very good, Mr. Dawson. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Ben.
If we leave them for COVID. Oh, here comes Bill. Chris and Pat, this is my husband, Bill. He's coming. You have to do a holiday background.
Hey.
Yeah, this is good. This is a Christmas present to Jandy, apparently. Bill's at work too, Ann.
So where is he getting deployed to?
I just got it. He responded to me. I think he's going on the Eisenhower.
Okay. And where's the Eisenhower going?
Oh no. In the water.
Well, I wasn't sure if it was like the China Sea or something, I don't know.
I just
Hopping around outside Venezuela. I mean,
You guys are so up on this.
where is this ship going?
Who's a Grignac?
Rigneck.
Going in the water.
Going in the water.
Water. Ship in the water. That's the all right. Very well. If we're going to be conventional.
Wow. This time
Do we have any topics, or are we just going to make fun of him? I'm good with that.
We're going to be very serious, Bill. We're not going to make fun of him at all.
You're on the podcast and lying to me this early? Really?
You're not looking at us, Bill. Where are you looking?
I'm looking at the screen,
I know, but
not the camera.
okay. Hi, Pat. How are you?
Hello. Hold on. I need to go down in the basement where it's quiet because I have children awake.
No, you have a wife.
All right.
Oh, look how cute.
They're supposed to be sleeping. Hold on.
Jeff Kaplan.
How you doing, Ruth?
I'm good. How are you?
We're hanging in there. We're doing good.
Is that a background? Is that your real tree?
That's my real tree.
Is it? It's very pretty.
Thank you.
Ann, do you have
Say hi real quick.
Do you have an idiotic race bar nickname, or are you just going to go with Ann?
Me?
Yell race bar kind of quietly.
Just Ann?
No, Giggles.
Is it pickles?
Giggles.
Oh, I thought you said
Like
pickles.
Yell
I
race
like
bar.
pickles.
So what is it?
Yell race bar.
Giggles. Okay, I had pickles too. Okay. All right,
This
My
is
Ruth.
roommate's nickname was Pickle.
They're my
Pretty
buds. I mean.
girls.
Do you want my nickname, or do you want to roll with Ruth?
We're going to go with both. So,
What is your nickname?
Masturbates.
Masturbates?
all righty. So you're related to Nick Rhodes then?
Hey,
She's way too young
is
for that.
Andy here
reference.
yet? Oh wait, hold on. Wait, I
Is
gotta send
Andy
him a
coming
message.
to this?
All right, who else we need? Pat
We
and
need-
Chris, what do we got?
Maybe Andy is part of this. I didn't realize it.
Don't be shy. You're wearing
Maybe we should-
reindeer.
Do you guys
Maybe we
have
should finally
nicknames?
invite
Oh,
Andy.
you're just putting everybody's nickname down, Bill?
I'm trying.
Okay.
Pat and Chris.
Okay, I just invited
nicknames?
Andy in.
Those are the crackhead sisters.
You just invited Andy in?
Yeah.
I thought Andy wasn't part of this.
My story is not as funny if Andy's
Oh
here.
my God. How many people are we going to have on this
That was my
podcast?
story.
Matt, you have to give your nickname.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I can
No.
show you. Hold on.
Put that thing away, sir. Put that thing away.
Oh, what is it? What's it say?
I have no idea.
We
He's
can't
not
read
very-
it.
It says Richard Freelane.
Oh, Dick Freelane. That's right.
Freelane.
Yep. Dick for party settings and Richard for more formal settings. Hold on, I'm literally putting coal on my coal burning fireplace right now.
Nice.
It's like
Very
the
well.
coolest thing that's ever happened to me.
Well, at least we know that when Santa gives you coal for Christmas, you can use it.
This is where you can get it. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Who do we have? Pat and Chris. Still don't have you guys. What do you got?
Those are our nicknames.
Crackhead sisters.
Crackhead sisters.
They're very quiet.
Turn your mic on. Bottom left corner. Bottom left.
Okay. Let's see. Who am I missing? Maddie B, who's getting gas, it looks like.
You're getting gas.
We haven't had anybody on a podcast getting gas before. We've had them have gas, but that's a different story.
This is the first one.
That's true. Nickname, Maddie?
We can't hear you.
Nickname is quiet. Anybody got a nickname for Maddie?
Thor.
Thor?
Thor.
Not his
Okay.
nickname.
It is now.
You can
Wait,
unmute.
Do they hear us?
Where's Maddie going? Maddie, where are you going? Maddie, nickname?
It's Opa.
Opa?
It's also man specimen, right?
All right. I'll do that too.
Just turn them down a little bit. Like turn it down to like 4.
Let's see. Who else do we need? Taylor. We don't have you yet.
Yes.
He's coming. He might. There he is. Oh, he's literally in San Francisco. Look at that.
Yeah.
Taylor, do you have a race bar nickname?
Not one that Race Bar gave me, but one that Def Stig Racing gave me. They call me Droner Boner.
Did they sign that?
No, not yet, but
Esteban.
That's a good one.
Mr. Esteban.
Yeah,
Do we have a nickname for race bar?
that's it right there. Esteban El Baño.
El Baño. Okay. Do you have a
Oh, audio's coming.
do you have a motherly nickname? Okay, we'll go with no.
Nail polish color.
All right. We got Maddie B on here twice. That's good. Let's see.
Yeah,
Everybody.
I had to sign out and sign back in. I don't know what happened.
That's all right.
Maddie, what is your nickname?
I got
It's
him.
Opa. OPA.
Opa. Okay.
Exclamation.
Okay.
Oh, nice beard. It's looking good.
Oh,
Thanks,
Pat and
buddy.
Chris keep moving around. How you doing, Pat and Chris? Pat and Chris, are you going to partake in our stupidity with nicknames or no?
Yes.
Okay, so what do we got?
Pat, what is yours?
Story.
Oh, story first.
What's
What
your
is it?
nickname?
Oh, Pat and Chris are our nicknames.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. So what are your real names then?
Can't you tell? Pat, Chris, Chris, Pat, Pat, Chris.
I'm just trying to stay above the water here, people. You know, some race bar is good, too much race bar is better, and this is way too much race bar. Okay. All
You
right.
invited Jim.
Is he here?
Apparently, Jim's behind Ron's head. Okay. Some sights that cannot be unseen. All right. Very well. Are we going to start with Jim coming in, or we're just going to wing it and make fun of him?
We gotta get him in here.
You got to get him in here.
Is
I'm
he
gonna
in?
call him.
No.
I'm calling him.
I have a feeling this is going to be one of those episodes
Yeah.
again where I ask one question and I
3
can just
days later.
drive home. Okay. I can't wait to edit this bad boy. This should be
At least it confirms a lot about how great our team is. We're always usually on the same page.
yeah, it's the page that we worry about. That's the problem.
Kind of a theme.
Matt, where are you now? Opa.
South,
gas.
about an hour from Casper, Wyoming.
Are you still on the way?
Yeah, I was just skiing in Colorado for a week.
That's a rough life.
Yeah, it was really tough.
Somehow he made it.
Yeah, somehow.
Wherever you are.
the extra 5 hours and come to Tahoe.
Whoa, nice.
I'm trying to get this thing to work. Come on.
There.
So when are you
I
headed
did.
are you headed to Alaska now, Matt?
Yeah, I got the
All right.
Are you gonna join
Give
it?
me a few minutes. Give me a few minutes, and I'll join it.
Okay, we're all waiting on you.
Okay, hold on. Let me get Peter out of this room. Give me
Okay.
like 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay, got it. Bye.
You can do a lot in 2 minutes.
Apparently. Oh, we got Patrick on here twice now.
Oh.
As if one wasn't enough.
As if one wasn't enough.
Different angles of his face.
Oh, how about a nice echo? Hold on.
That's an awesome echo. It's even better when you have headphones on.
Jeff, I love your picture on the background.
Well, thank you, Dick Freelane.
Oh, I remember that day clear. I love how there's a fan emanating around his butthole.
Frames it in nicely. Welcome. Cheers from Illinois, people.
That picture was taken on Scandals. You guys know about for just a short period as well. Remember that?
I don't actually.
Remember the podcast I did from a boat?
Oh, the boat that was there. Okay.
Yeah, that picture is taken from the boat that I was standing on. That's how Andy made his entrance into Scandals 2019. Is like on a speedboat. He came in totally naked, and they did a high speed pass in a sailboat. He just leapt off of it totally naked and splatted into the water. Then he swam to the boat and he got on, but he didn't have any clothes, and he just stayed that way for like 2 hours. Best visual image ever.
He should be here any second. He just asked what the meeting code was, and I already sent it to him. So.
So, do you guys have any actual Garage Heroes topics tonight, or are we just doing the race bar mayhem takeover again?
I think we should do catching up on Race Bar and see what's new and exciting.
All right.
I could have wasted my time and tried to organize a podcast, but I knew you guys were coming, so.
That's awesome.
I think I had 80 questions at the last podcast, and I did 2.
Nice. That's about right.
So Matt, are you?
That's like Jeff's dating record.
Could be.
That was awesome.
What did I just miss there?
Nothing.
Oh, nothing. Don't worry about it. You're great.
Nothing at all.
I can't figure out how to change my background on this big screen.
You want a picture of Andy's ass?
No, we're good.
I think
We're
we
good.
should all have Andy's ass.
I think that's already taken care of, but
chat here.
there you go, Vicky. You got your little Christmas thing.
If we ever got Caitlin in here.
Not my Christmas thing.
Oh, well, while we're here, we could just go over this. How about this? What do you think?
Jennifer.
Oh, is that the what I think?
See right here? It's not going to be there. Then it's going to go wee.
Jennifer hitting the wall.
Going to go right over there. See? Wee. Boom.
Wait a minute, did I see a bolt fly off of that?
Oh, stop. Listen, you just relax.
He's here.
What?
Hey, there he is.
Yay!
Hey!
Merry Christmas.
All right. So
great stash.
Should I describe what's going on here?
Nope, that's part of the podcast.
Or are you gonna do it?
We're gonna try.
Hey, Bill, we
Yes.
can't see you. You're looking sideways. We're looking at your ear.
Yeah, that one.
What?
There you go.
That's not the screen.
I know, but you got to bring it together. Bring it together.
Okay. There we go. I got all my notes over here, though. All right, I'm doing the intro this way, and you guys can deal with it. All right. Welcome to the Garage Heroes in Training podcast. This is going to be a mess. We have Race Bar. We have. Let's just get this out of the way. Who's hosting with me? Wow.
I'm Vicky.
Waving.
I'm Jen.
Okay. Who's hosting with me? And Vicky waves. Okay.
Well, no, I'm actually sitting here. I'm waving it